Tonight's story, my dear Teresa, is Pocahontas. Where is Pocahontas? Asked Chief Powhatan. Everybody in the village has turned out to welcome home their leader and his brave warriors. Everyone except Powhatan's beloved daughter, Pocahontas. As usual, Pocahontas was off on an adventure with her two friends, Meeko the raccoon and a hummingbird called Flit, but she rushed home when she heard her father had returned. She wanted to tell him about a dream she kept having in which she saw a spinning arrow. She knew it meant something exciting was going to happen, but what? When she finally met her father and told him about their dreams, he said something exciting. Is about to happen. Coconut has asked to seek your hand in marriage. Then he gave her a necklace, the same one her mother had worn at their wedding. The problem was Pocahontas did not want to marry Coconut. He never bowed, and besides, she had a feeling her dreams was pointing her down another path. So she went to see Grandmother Willow for advice. All around you are spirit child, the wise trees, Spirit said. They live in the earth, the water, the sky. If you listen, they will guide you. Just then a breeze began to blow. Pocahontas ran to the shore and climbed a cliff, hoping to hear what the wind was telling her. That's when she saw something she had never seen before. It was the Susan Constant. Its sails flapping in the breeze. The ship had sailed all over the way from England, bringing settlers to the land where Pocahontas lived. The first one of the ship was John Smith. He was eager to explore this land. Meeko was just as eager to investigate the stranger, and when Smith gave Meeko a biscuit, the raccoon was so excited that he nearly gave away Pocahontas' hiding place. But just there, a bugle sounded, calling Smith back to his companions. Smith had to attend a ceremony and watch Governor Ratcliffe plant the British flag. Ratcliffe said he was claiming the new land for king and country. All he really cared about was the gold he hoped to find. Ratcliffe sent John Smith to scout for Indians. Then he raided his canyon. The greedy governor was not about to let anyone get in his way. Meanwhile, a party of warriors had spotted the settlers. When they reported this to their chief, Powhatan, asking the villagers' medicine man to find out what their arrival meant. The medicine man threw some powder on the fire, and smoke that rose from the flames took the shape of hungry wolves and of soldiers with weapons that spouted fire. Take some men to the river to observe these visitors. Powhatan told Coconut, let us hope they do not intend to stay. John Smith was scouting in the forest when he sensed that he was not alone. Turning, he saw Pocahontas through the mist of a waterfall. They stared at each other for a long moment before Pocahontas started away. No, please, Smith called after her. Then Pocahontas remembered what Grandmother Willow had said, to listen with her heart to the voices around her. So she decided to stop and listen to the stranger. As they got to know each other, Pocahontas realized that Smith had some odd ideas. For an instant, he thought the Indians were savages, and he did not understand that all parts of nature, people people, animals, plants, even the wind and clouds were alive and connected to each other. So she showed John Smith her wealth. Slowly he started to see colours and shapes of the wind and the rest of nature, just as she did. They parted at the end of the day, neither one wanted to say goodbye. Soon the tension between the settlers and the Indians began to worsen. Ratcliffe had found no gold and was frustrated, furious. He was sure the Indians were hiding it all. One of the Indian warriors had gone to serve the settlers with coconut. He had been shot and wounded. Powhatan gave orders that no one was to go near the settlers, but Pocahontas ignored his orders. She ignored the warning of her best friend, Nakama, who told her to stay away from John Smith. Instead, Pocahontas led Smith to grandmother's Willow's glades where they could talk in peace. That's when she found out that the settlers had come for gold. Pocahontas told Smith that the other gold the Indians had was the golden corn they grew in the fields. They were still talking when Grandmother Willow joined the conversation. "That tree is talking to me," Smith said shakily. "Don't be frightened with trees. Don't be frightened," the tree spirit told him. "My bark is worse than my bite." Soon Grandmother Willow and John Smith were chatting like old friends. Pocahontas was pleased that Grandmother Willow approved of her new friend. But suddenly they were interrupted by the shouts of two settlers who were looking for Smith. Smith left and Pocahontas hurried home, remembering how kind and understanding Smith had been. She went to her father and begged him to talk to the settlers instead of fighting. "It's not that simple," Powhatan replied. At the settlement, Smith tried to explain that the Indians had no gold, but that they would share their corn, which they used as food. Ratcliffe ignored him. "This is my land," he cried. That night, Smith and Pocahontas secretly met again to try to discuss how to keep the peace between their people. But Nakoma, worried for her friend's safety, told Coconut where Pocahontas had gone. When Coconut found Pocahontas in the arms of Smith, he attacked. Smith's friend Thomas arrived just in time to see Coconut with a knife raised against Smith. He fired his musket, killing Coconut. "Thomas, get out of here," Smith yelled. Thomas ran back to the settlement, but when a party of warriors appeared moments later, they accused Smith of the murder and dragged him away. Powhatan condemned Smith to die at sunrise, and he had harsh words for Pocahontas. "Because of your foolishness, Coconut is dead. You have ashamed your father," he said. Ratcliffe was equally frustrated when he learned that the Indians had captured Smith. He decided to use this information to lead the settlers into battle against the Indians. Meanwhile, Pocahontas swallowed Smith's compass, which Smith had gave to the little Miko. When the compass house began swinging wildly, Pocahontas realized it was the arrow from a dream. Suddenly the arrow stopped and pointed towards the sunlight, and John Smith. Pocahontas began to run in the direction the arrow was pointing. Just before the sunrise, the Indians arrived at the place of execution. The settlers were also marching armed and angry to the same spot. It seems that nobody could prevent bloodshed now. And just as Powhatan raised a huge club over Smith, Pocahontas appeared. She threw herself over Smith and shouted, "No, if you kill him, you have to kill me too. Look around you. This is where the path of hatred had brought us." No one moved, then Pocahontas said, "You have the power to change that, father." Powhatan heard the wisdom of his daughter's words. He announced that there will be no more killing. Let us be guided instead to a place of peace. He said, when the Indian warriors put down their weapons, Ratcliffe yelled, "Now's our chance, men, fire!" But the settlers had already understood how greedy Ratcliffe was. They lowered their weapons too. In desperation, Ratcliffe reached for a gun and fired out. Poor Arthur. John Smith put himself in front of the chief. He was shot instead. The settlers were enraged. They grabbed Ratcliffe and put him in chains. Soon after, the settlers readied the Susan Constant to set sail for England. Thomas told Pocahontas that Smith would die if he stayed behind. Going back is his only chance, Thomas explained. When Pocahontas approached Smith, she had a small pouch for him. It was filled with medicine from Grandmother's willow's bar. "It will help with the pain," she said. Pocahontas placed his own cloak over Smith. "You are always welcome among our people," he said. "Thank you, my brother." John Smith asked Pocahontas to go on into England, but when she looked at the Indians sharing food with us, she knew that she had to stay. She remembered her dreams, and she realized what her path must be. She would continue working for peace between her people and their newcomers. As Pocahontas watched as Susan and Constance sail away, a gentle wind whispered in her ear. She knew that the safe wind would carry John Smith safely home. What a beautiful story. Good night, my dear Teresa.